All right, everyone. Ooh, that's a little crooked. Here we go. So welcome to the CEO check-in. This is our second CEO check-in. Hi, Renata. Second official CEO check-in. It's our third if you count the first one. And what we're doing here is really three things. I'm doing a little mindset teaching. I'm going to help you do kind of damage control in your business because we know that there's a lot to figure out right now. And we're also going to be doing some live coaching and talking about opportunities. I think those are the three things everybody cares about right now. So nice to see your faces popping up. And the thing is that there are always opportunities that come out of these difficult times. I have lived through 9/11, I have lived through a recession, and in both cases, I found new ways of working that later on led to some really big innovations in my company. So I want you to look at this as, yes, a kind of tunnel we need to get through, although I was calling it the tunnel, and then I realized that's quite negative and probably not accurate in the sense that when you're going through a tunnel, you're just trying to get to the other end, right? And get back to the light and life as you knew it. I think with this, it probably makes more sense to call this the new normal. And the reason I'd like to call this time we're in the new normal is that everything was moving online anyway. We have been running an online business school for 5 years. So now everyone's just joining us online. But people were working remotely more and more. People were less and less likely to have in-person meetings because of the time that takes. And I'm not sure we'll ever go back to exactly how it was before. So I think if we call this the new normal, and that is a hashtag we're starting to use, and I invite you to use it as well, then we can also start thinking creatively about how do we make this new normal work for us, right? Because I think the three things we have to pay attention to right now, and that we're going to cover on this CEO check-in and on all the CEO check-ins, is one, how is my mindset? Am I in a place where I'm as positive and as powerful as I can be given the circumstances? Am I managing my anxiety? Am I helping members of my team and members of my family to stay safe and calm and feel good every day? So number one is mindset. Number two is damage control. Hi, Laura Chiples. So nice to see you pop up. Hi, Rabia. So number two is, am I doing damage control? There are things you have to be doing right now as a small business owner, and I'm going to help you with those. And number three is, where are the opportunities? So mindset, damage control, opportunities. So let me do a little mindset coaching today. The other CEO check-in, I taught you about the importance of gratitude. And I think these days, everybody's practicing some kind of gratitude, but I encouraged you to really up your gratitude practice, to start keeping a journal with all the great things. And in fact, if you started doing that, if you did up your gratitude practice since Monday, please put it in the chat. I'd love to know what you're doing. Every night I write in a big journal I keep 6 to 8 things I'm super grateful for. And it just gets me focused before I go to bed on all the positive, wonderful things. Like my boys are with me right now. I'm divorced and they're half the time with their dad, and they were off in Connecticut with him, but they've been with me the last 3 days, and that's been so wonderful. They've been so helpful. So I put that in my gratitudes. It doesn't have to be big things. It's little things to get you focused on the good. So what I'd like to encourage you to do today as a mindset boosting technique is something I like to call what could go right. And you just take a page. Oops, sorry, I got a call. I had to decline it. You just take a blank piece of paper, or you can do this in your journal, and you write at the top in all capital letters, what could go right? And then you list about 10 things that could go right. So for instance, I and everyone I love could get through this without getting sick. What else could go right? I could find new ways of working that benefit my business long term. What else could go right? I could rekindle friendships and relationships with people I didn't have time to work on when I wasn't stuck at home. What else could go right? I could be a leader in my community and help other people through this. What else could go right? I don't know, put something in the chat that could go right. There's always good things that come out of bad things. Hi, Milen. Milen runs a chocolate business. What could go right? She could do such a great job posting to social media, which she already does, and you should follow her, that when we're done with all this and everyone is back to, business a little bit like before, not exactly like before, she could have 100 new customers who adore her. And by the way, Milen, I'm sure can send chocolate to your house. So there's another thing that could go right. If you were Milen, how do I ramp up my online business and help all these people staying at home to have a little moment of delight with my chocolates? Hi, Erin. What else could go right? If you're Erin Coles, who sends wedding bands to play at weddings, and all these weddings are paused right now, can she just completely rock her online bookings, right? Can she figure out a whole new way of working on her infrastructure or her online presence that's going to put her way ahead of the competition once we're all back to sending bands out? Or can she find a way to provide amazing music to the couples she already married who are now stuck at home? And maybe she wants to make them a compilation of the best songs they heard at their wedding and sell it to them for not that much. There's always new opportunities. We are all problem solvers. And Rabia just wrote, I could use this unusual quiet time to strategize about my business. That's right. Those of you who are in masterclass, I'm glad, Laura, you use what could go right all the time. That's awesome. Yeah, I still use it all the time too. Everything I teach you, I'm doing myself. So if you're in masterclass or if you're not in a coaching program, I highly recommend you join something right now so that you can stay connected to other people and also get some help through this time. This is not the time to go it alone. Last time we talked about the 3 things you should not do, and they are isolate, ruminate, and catastrophize. So don't do those. And please tell people around you, these are the 3 things I'm trying not to do. Isolate, even if you're physically isolated, you can always reach out to friends. You can check in on each other. Hi, Rosemary, nice to see you. And she just came up with a good example. She said we could have more access to networking meetings with CEOs by doing them virtually. Hey, like this, right? There's a good thing that could come out of it. We're going to create this incredible network together during this time, and we'll still have this network when we come out of this. So we were saying the 3 things not to do are to isolate, ruminate, which is when you find yourself going over and over again, like, oh, this just is terrible, and I'm so upset, and why does this always happen to me? And I was just about to hit my stride when this happened. That's ruminating. And the 3rd thing is catastrophizing, which if you look it up in the dictionary is assuming the worst case scenario, right? When you start going down that rabbit hole of like, well, what if we never can leave our homes again? What if business never goes back to normal? That's all catastrophizing. We only have the information we have today, and that's what we should focus on today. The 3 things you should be doing are pivoting, planning, and problem solving. So pivoting is, how do I pivot my business, right? We just moved our entire 300-person summit online. That took a lot of planning, a lot of new meetings, a lot of letting go of things we were super excited about, like being in the same room with everyone. And just pivoting the whole thing. How do we keep our sponsors happy? I called every single sponsor and made sure they understood our online plan. We just recruited a new sponsor who actually helps make online experiences more interactive and engaging for the users. So how can you pivot your business right now in order to make do with the new normal? The second thing is planning, right? We need to plan for what if there really is, and likely there is going to be, a recession. And we have to get through lean times. That's why I'm offering a Know Your Numbers free workshop tomorrow. And everyone in this call should be there. Move whatever you need to move to be there. You're going to benefit from the thousands of dollars I spend on accounting every year to have the best accounting practices, and all the mistakes I made throughout my career to make sure you don't make them, and that you get through this crisis with knowing your numbers. What is your spend? How do you reduce your spend? How are you going to get through the next few months? That's the planning part. And also planning new products and services, but we're not going to cover that on tomorrow's call. And if you want to be part of that, then please email Maddie, M-A-D-D-Y, at juliapim.com. Huge shout out to my team who are being amazing right now, working from home. We haven't lost a minute of productivity, and we have some great remote working SOPs, standard operating procedures, that you can see in the Google Drive folder we set up for everyone who participates in CEO check-ins. We're sharing best practices, so you can see our own best practices in that folder. And again, just write to Maddie at juliapim.com. I'm going to put that in the, can someone put that in the Instagram chat? And I'm putting it in the Facebook chat. In a few minutes, I'm going to open it up to live coaching on Instagram. If you're watching on Facebook, just open up your phone or get over to Instagram for the live coaching part. Otherwise, I don't think you'll be able to hear it. But Instagram doesn't allow us to record these videos and keep them, so we're doing it in Facebook at the same time. That's why you see me glancing up and down between the two, so it can get saved and watched by women who can't be with us right this minute. Oh, thanks for putting that in, Maddie. So it's Maddie@juliapim.com. If you want access to the free 1-hour Know Your Numbers workshop, bring your P&L. We'll send you an email with some things you should prepare in advance. And we're going to spend an hour making sure that your business is recession proof and that you have the right things in place to get through this. And only then can you do the last thing. When I said there are 3 things you should be doing, right? I say you should pivot, you should plan, and you should problem solve. So the problem solving is this. We have, oh, Maddie's like, we can save these videos. All right, good. Thank God for my team. The other thing is that I went and hired someone when this coronavirus first hit, because I think as entrepreneurs, we always want to be doing the opposite of what other people are doing, right? We're not like everybody else. We're the crazy people who started our own businesses and want to be our own bosses and make it all up as we go. So I realized we have an opportunity as an online business school to really be there for the women across America and some of them around the world who now need to learn online. So I hired an additional person, someone who had been on my team before. I brought her back on, Nicole. Thank you. Huge shout out to you. I adore you. And we now have extra help so that we can help you more during this time. So how could you be doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing? If everyone else is canceling what they're doing, maybe you don't cancel it. Maybe you find a way to bring it online or add more value or engage with your customers and say, hey, what can I provide you so that, we just defer this instead of canceling it. If you're in the events business, there's a lot of canceling going on. One of the reasons we didn't cancel the summit is we didn't want to be one of those terrible emails we're all getting in our inbox, right? Of like canceled. So is there a way to pivot your business so that you can still provide some of the services? And so the problem solving is really thinking about what is the problem my customer has and how can I solve it in a new way? Maybe you can't show up at their office like you used to. Maybe they're not going to come to your massage parlor or come walk into your store and buy your essential oils. But maybe you can get 100 or 1,000 new customers who are all stuck at home looking for something to do. Now, maybe the price is going to have to drop. Maybe people aren't going to be spending the same amount they were before, because when something like this hits, and again, I've lived through the recession, I've lived through 9/11, it feels very similar. That everyone, I like to say it's like musical chairs, right? Where like the music goes off and everybody freezes wherever they are. Oh, I have to just sit here because the music went off. I have to take this chair. But the fact is, the music will play again, just as it did after 9/11, just as it did after the recession. And I built my first business during the recession. And so the way you can be not like everybody else, just like I was hiring when everyone else was, thinking about letting people go, is how can you make your business so much stronger now? Hi, Clear Awareness. Welcome. Hi, Lido NYA Hudson. How can you make your business so much stronger now? Hi, Anu, such that when we get back to things a little bit like they were before, you feel amazing about your business. That's what I want for you. Half of being a successful entrepreneur is doing what I call reverse engineering. I mean, it's a real engineering term, but I use it all the time in coaching. And those of you who've taken my classes know what I mean by this. It's set the goal and then put the pieces in place to get to the goal. So what if we all set the goal right now, right here, that we are going to come out of this quarantine time, whether it's 4 weeks or 8 weeks or who knows how long it will be, right? We can't know that today, with a business so much stronger than when we went in. So that when we look back on this time, we're not like, wow, I gained 15 pounds during that time. Although I think all of us, me included, are gaining a little weight. I went running in the park this morning with my son. I'm glad I can still do that. And I'm trying to stay fit, not only for my body, but for my mind. And I hope you'll do that too. But how do we go through this? Hi, Kelly. Yes, the music is going to play again. Musical chairs. We just froze a minute here, but it's going to play again. And we can make it play again, right? Because we can decide, I'm going to use this time to strengthen my business, to know my numbers, to look at everything I offer and figure out, maybe I'm offering things I don't even enjoy doing, right? If I have to reinvent my business, how do I reinvent it in a way where I'm only doing the things I love? And we won't be covering that on tomorrow's Know Your Numbers workshop, but please join us for tomorrow. Move whatever you need to move. I rarely say that, but this is more important than anything you have going on. Knowing your numbers, unless you want to pay unless you want to pay an accountant $10,000 to help you figure this out, move things and join us tomorrow for Know Your Numbers. And then we'll do follow-up workshops on how do you take advantage of the opportunities. Hi, Anu. Oh, I'm glad these check-ins are helping. Yes, they're helping me too. It's important to stay connected and to know that 3 times a week, we're going to gather here. We're going to share the best practices. You are not alone. Wherever you are part of this community, and we are going to come through this super strong. Together, all of us are stronger than any virus, any recession, anything that can get thrown at us. So take heart in that and do your mindset practices, the gratitudes and the 10 things that could go right. And that will help to refocus your brain on the positive. When we're focused on the negative, we cannot find the solutions. So you got to get the mindset right first and the damage control, right? That's the plan of the pivot, plan, and problem solve. And then we can move on to, okay, let's get back to being the problem solvers we are, because we're all just problem solvers. If you're not solving a problem, you don't have a business. Hi, Midun, Maddie. You want to make sure that you go back to what we call in the business world, first principles. And if you haven't heard that term before, and then we're going to get to live coaching. So if you have a question, tee it up in Instagram. You can already go ahead and ask it, and then I'll pick one of you to live coach. But first principles means, what is it that I am trying to do to serve my client? And so when we looked at the $1 Million Women's Summit, for instance, and we went back to first principles, we said, okay, the summit, what we love about it is everyone gathering in person, the joy, the energy. If you've been there, you know it's amazing and uplifting, and we can't do that in person this year. But first principles are, we're trying to teach everyone at the summit, how do you grow your business? Well, we can still do that. We bring in amazing keynote speakers. We can still do that. I like to teach at the summit. We can still do that. We want to inspire everyone to go big. Our hashtag this year is big, bold, brave. We can still do that. So when we went back to first principles, we realized we had no reason to cancel the summit, and we had every reason to carry on with it. So what are the first principles in your business, right? If you're Erin Coles and you run this business that is sending bands to people's weddings, hi, Lindsay, hi, Midun, Maddie, then hi, Annabella, then your first principle is helping to make magic at people's weddings, right? And maybe you could become the leader, Erin, in helping everyone to figure out, how can we now make magic at our weddings? Maybe some of these weddings are going to happen online. Maybe some of these weddings are going to be deferred. Maybe they can start planning their playlist right now from home in order to get excited and stay positive and get ready for their wedding. How can we lead right now instead of follow? And that's really what I want to help you with on these calls. There's always an opportunity where other people see doom and gloom. And we are the community that's going to find that opportunity and build amazing businesses that we will all look back in 5 years and say, wow, I never would have done that if I wasn't stuck at home for 8 weeks or whatever, however many weeks it's going to be. I hope it's shorter than that. All right, let's do some live coaching. Anu, if you want to come over to Instagram, you can ask me a question, or you can type your question into the chat. I also want to give a shout out. Hey, Lindsay. Yes, it's all about pivoting right now. It's pivot, plan, and problem solve, and recalibrating. Here, Lindsay, do you want to come on? Because I know you're just starting a business right now. So let me see if I can get you on. And, you know, for people who are just starting their businesses, it's like, okay, well, now how do I launch this business in the midst of this time when it seems like nobody wants to actually, you know, buy anything? But the truth is, people are going to be buying things. Hello, beautiful.
Hi, I'm just sitting in my apartment building lobby just to get a new scene.
That's smart. I like that. It's like, go wherever you can go that's not one of your 1 or 2 rooms.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for you. Well, really nice to see your face. What did you decide to do about the business, the Sari business?
It's still full steam ahead. So
good for you.
On live, I'm fundraising for an South Asian clothing rental company, and pardon my appearance.
You look great. You look awesome.
But you know, it was really frustrating coming into this week, thinking, wow, this is the absolute worst timing to be fundraising, right? And so I'm continuing that, but simultaneously looking at projects of what I could do right now to get ahead. And, this virus, unfortunately, but fortunately for me, will wipe out quite a few competitors.
Well, there's one silver lining. So that could go in your what could go right.
Right, exactly. And investors are still interested regardless of what's going on with the economy. So that's great. I'm really focused right now on content and creating a bunch of content right now to drive to my coming soon launching page, right? Because now more than ever, people are on their devices and scrolling. So why not, market this business even though it's not yet launched? But investors love to see that you're already putting in efforts to collect future customers.
I love that. And everyone's looking for good news right now, right? Whether it's investors or entrepreneurs or brides. Are you going to be catering to brides and their wedding parties, or not necessarily?
More so to guests, because
Okay.
guests of Indian weddings, the average Indian wedding in the US has 500 guests.
Wow.
Which is crazy. And just a typical plus one, you have to have minimum 3 to 5 outfits per wedding.
Well, I think I shared with you that I lived this with Laura Chiprez. I don't know if she's still on the call, but she was earlier. She was my chief of staff, and she is Mexican-American, but her boyfriend is from, I can't remember the country he's from, but he's Southeast Asian. His family's Hindu. And so she went to all these events with him, including a wedding, and had to have all these different outfits and get dressed by her mother-in-law. And it was just very elaborate, very beautiful, actually. I was jealous, just amazing. But this is so cool that you're creating a company that allows women to rent those outfits. And if anybody on this call has suggestions for Lindsay or content she can share around this, maybe even connecting you and Laura might be good, because she's part of a very big community through her, actually they got engaged, come to think of it. So now her fiance. I'm happy to connect you. And if you have ideas for Lindsay, you can put in the chat something, or you can always contact me. All my emails right now are going through Maddie@JuliaPim.com, MADDY@JuliaPim.com. Is there anything I can help you with, Lindsay, that you're worried about or thinking about today?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, you're putting me on the spot right now.
I know you can take it. That's why I picked you.
Yeah. Well, it was something that I messaged you earlier this week. I mean, I'm just really looking for a great, well, obviously you have a $1 billion women's group, but just like a group where if there's like a Slack channel or something where entrepreneurial women can get together and just like bounce ideas off of each other. I would just love to know simple questions like, what apps are you using to create content for social media right now?
I think there are probably some great Facebook groups for that. I mean, I have my free Facebook group, which is called Female Founders Going Big. So that would be one to join. We have not yet created a Slack community or anything like that in the $1 Million Women movement, but it's possible we will. And we didn't have CEO check-ins a week ago, right? So who knows what's coming down the pike. But if you have ideas for Lindsay of where she can trade ideas with fellow entrepreneurs. Oh, I do have a couple other resources. Dreamers and Doers is a great Facebook group for that. In fact, that's how I found Maddie, my operations manager. She saw something I posted in Dreamers and Doers. And then there are some other female founder groups that I'm part of online. I can't think of them off the top of my head. But if you're watching this and you're part of a group you think Lindsay can join to help bounce around ideas with entrepreneurs kicking off online businesses, or if you want to be part of something like that, just email us at Maddie@JuliaPim.com or put something in either of the chats. But so glad that you checked in here. And if you want to join us for either Know Your Numbers or Friday, we're going to be doing this via Zoom, because we figure that way we can go a little deeper around people's individual questions and businesses. So come on back on Friday, and just really great to see your face, and congratulations on moving full steam ahead.
Yep, I'm not letting anything get me down.
Awesome. Well, I know you've done your mindset work. We've talked about mindset a lot, so it's showing right now. All right, my dear. Mwah. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Bye. Take care. All right. Does anybody else? Hello, Kim. Hello, Becky. Hello, Zakita. A lot of amazing women joining us. Sober, Fit, Pure Strength. So does anybody want to get a little bit of live coaching today? What I'm hearing from women I'm talking to is that some of the products and services that they used to offer, they can't offer anymore because they required going in person or having people come to them. Maybe it's a restaurant. Maybe you're somebody who was running live events. And how do you do that pivot? So if someone wants to share their challenge, I'm happy to live coach them. And I'm sure that would benefit everybody else here. Don't be shy. Lindsay was brave to go first, and we had someone go the other day, but I'd be happy to help you try to figure that out. And if not, let's see, we got a couple people popping up here. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to try to go live with Kelly because she runs an event business where her entire job was to support events. And so now she has to figure out, all these events are getting canceled. What's she going to do during this time? And so one of the things that I talked to Kelly the other day, and we'll see if she can come on live. One of the things we talked about is how can she get retrained as somebody who can run an online event? All of us are moving our events online. So I've just reached out to a new sponsor of the summit. There she is. Hey, Kelly. So good to see you. Why are you laughing? So because you run a business that is to help people with live events, I thought it might be good if we talked about what you're planning on doing to pivot. And I'm sure that'll help other people. Her internet's acting up a minute here. So I'll talk about what we talked about the other day, and then hopefully she'll be able to join us. What we talked about the other day is that if she gets retrained in Zoom, and if she starts to know some of the partners who can help make an online event really special, that's going to be an amazing skill set to have and to help other conferences and summits move online. So I think our internet's not cooperating. But so the $1 Million Women's Summit is moving online, and we're going to come up with some really cool, innovative ways of having this summit be our best ever. And she's going to be part of that. So the question is, how can all of us get some new skills during this time that will allow us to be the front runners in this new online world? So once you've worked on your mindset, once you've done your damage control and you're ready to look for the new opportunities, and please don't try to look for the new opportunities until you've worked on your mindset and done your damage control. Hi, Pam. Hi, Body Positive, because you just won't see them. We don't see new opportunities when we're in a small, scared place, right? When you're feeling scared and vulnerable, what do? You kind of retreat, you kind of get smaller, right? What we need to do is get bigger and stronger to find the things that we can do. And we can only do that when we feel really good in our bodies and our minds, and when we feel like we understand where our cash is. Cash is queen, right? And we know our numbers. So please join me tomorrow for the Know Your Numbers free workshop. It's going to have at least $10,000 worth of value. You'd have to pay $10,000 worth of accounting to get access to the same information I'm going to share tomorrow. Plus, you get to do it in a safe space with all other women business owners who are trying to figure out the exact same things. Should I let go of my office? Can I keep my whole team? How do I protect my cash? Everybody's got the same questions. So let's do that together tomorrow in the Know Your Numbers workshop. And then on Friday, we'll be on Zoom at noon doing some deeper coaching and problem solving around looking for new opportunities, because that's the fun part, right? So we're going to be looking at new opportunities together on Friday. And if you don't have any ideas about new opportunities for your business, I guarantee if you join us Friday via Zoom, you will by the end of it. And Lindsay said she has an app she's using called Strides that helps to keep her on track. Very cool, STRIDES. I'm going to put it in the Facebook group so that everyone can find it. So thank you for joining me for today's CEO Check-In. I will see you tomorrow for Know Your Numbers. Until then, stay brave, be safe, be healthy, follow all the precautions, and remember, don't isolate, ruminate, or catastrophize. We're going to get through this together, and you are not alone. And huge thanks to my team at home for helping me produce these check-ins. Mwah! I will see you tomorrow and on Friday via Zoom. Maddie@juliapim.com if you have any questions. I'm going to put that in the chat on Facebook. And Maddie, if you could put your email back in the chat, that would be awesome. Bye, Rabia. Bye, Lindsay. Bye, Body Positive Bootcamp. See you guys tomorrow and Friday. It's just Maddie, Maddy, @juliapim.com. You also get access to our Google Drive with all the best practices. Have a great day. Bye.